Hello everybody, this is your boy, the Almighty Green Talents, coming to you with a video, and I got some breaking news about two coaches that are currently, one coach is a head coach of a football team, and one coach was demoted and could be released as soon as the season comes to an end, and also a guy who replaced a coach, a defensive coordinator, could be released as well. But before I get right into the video, don't forget to comment. Either comment on the video, let me know what you think about the video, and let me know what you think about its content. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to do all that for the video. Please give me the thumbs up, not thumbs down, thumbs up, because that makes the video circulate all over social media and YouTube land. Okay, let's get right into it. Just waking up a little bit. I've been about a good hour now. Had a chance to get myself together and do all that before I make the video. But the video pertaining to, let's start with the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders is expected to fire defensive head coach Ron Rivera when this season comes to an end. The Washington Commanders play the Dallas Cowboys today, and I think it's going to be in Washington, I believe. That's a game that the Eagles going to be watching very closely, because if the news is true about Ron Rivera, the Washington Commanders are going to play hard, and they might up and beat the Cowboys, because they got some motivation to work out here. Because even though Ron Rivera will be let go, the Washington Commanders team is going to play their hearts out, and they might send Ron Rivera out on a high note, even though he's going to be fired at season's end. Shame for that. But before I get into the other my team, let me know what you think about the Ron Rivera firing. Because Ron Rivera had done real well with the Washington Commanders. He had 4 seasons, but of the 4 seasons, he had been to the playoffs with the team only once. So, and I think they played the Saints that year, I believe, and lost the first round, and hadn't went back to playoffs since then. So, and that was during his first season as head coach. And that when they drafted Chase Young, and going on his 4th year in the league, after being with the Commanders for 3.5 seasons before he was traded halfway of this season. So Ron Rivera will be let go, and I got some news about Ron Rivera as well and where he could go. And let me know what you think about that. Now let's get to the Philadelphia Eagles. I just got a report about Desai and possibly Patricia. The Eagles are expected to move on from Desai because of the horrible Vic Fangio defense that he bought here. That doesn't really fit his scheme, doesn't fit the team. The Eagles are a blue-collar football team. There's no way around it. And they do not or shouldn't be having tricks of the trade, if you will, on the team. And so releasing Desai from his contract is a good thing to do, because the Eagles could have fired him halfway. This season's about to come to an end today. They could have fired him 3 weeks ago after he got demoted, but they decided not to, from what I've heard. And they said his contract is the reason why they didn't let him go at that point. So letting him go when he comes to an end, the right thing to do, and where he can search for another team to go to be. I doubt he'd be a defensive coordinator. He probably gonna want to going back to DB coach, or he could be defensive assistant. That's why I see Desai going in the near future for some club, depending on where he goes. I wish him the best, but it has to happen, because his scheme doesn't fit the team. Like I said, the Eagles are a blue-collar defense and a blue-collar team in general. When I heard that, wasn't no surprise to me, because when you get demoted, either halfway through the season or damn near close to the season's end 3 weeks ago, you knew you were gonna get fired. It was the what they call it, the metals in the air, and so that's what it was for him. And now you gotta look at Matt Patricia, who came in. Well, he been there as defensive, not assistant, but what they call it, defensive consultant. That's what he was at first. And when they demoted Sean Desai, they put Matt Patricia as defensive coordinator to call the plays. In my opinion, I think he did the best he could because of the scheme that we're running. And Matt Patricia runs a different type of scheme. He actually runs New England's defense. The guy had 2 Super Bowl rings to speak on that. He had 2 rings, and he was a horrible head coach. And but he's more. Some coaches are better coaches, defensive or offensive assistant than head coach. So Matt Patricia is not a good head coach. He's a better assistant than a head coach, and teams in the NFL know that. So also, reason why I'm bringing up this is because after the Eagles let go these 2 coaches, the Eagles could bring back Ron Rivera. Don't forget, Ron Rivera runs a very good defensive scheme. He runs the Jim Johnson cornerback or DB zone scheme blitz. He runs that type of defense. The Eagles got the defensive backs to actually do that. They got the defensive back to do it. It's just that you can't run a Jim Johnson defense if you ain't got good linebackers. Think about Jim Johnson in the year that he's been with the Philadelphia Eagles and the defensive coordinator. He has had great linebackers. We can go as far as Jeremiah Trotter. Let me see. Forget that boy name. He wore number 95 for the Philadelphia Eagles. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. He's no longer in the NFL now, but I forgot his name. He wore number 95, and then we had some other guys to complement Jeremiah Trotter. And so you gotta look at all them linebackers the Eagles has had over the years. It's like when Jim Johnson passed away, the Eagles have decided not to invest in linebackers. If you go back in history, just think about it. If you go back here and think about it, when we had Jim Johnson had some excellent linebackers other than Jeremiah Trotter to complement his defensive scheme. DBs, even though he did run the cornerback DB zone blitz, which was his defense, and he ran it well. He has always had great linebackers. Linebackers has always been off the chain. And the Eagles defense is hurt because of linebackers, and you need key contributors at the linebacker position. I mean, you got players that have been hurt all season. Nick Morrow, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Nick Morrow would be an excellent linebacker in Jim Johnson's scheme because Jim Johnson has always had 3 great linebackers: 2 weak side linebacker, strong side linebacker, and middle linebacker. Jeremiah Trotter was the middle linebacker. The Eagles have had 2 excellent weak and strong side linebackers. So the Eagles, if they decide to go back to Jim Johnson's scheme, they're going to need some linebackers. And I think Nick Morrow runs that scheme. Nick Morrow would be great for Jim Johnson's scheme. Because, see, Sean Desai's defense calls for linebackers to be in zone coverage, especially if they can't run fast enough to cover the linebackers. He covered the player out the field, running back or tight ends. You need linebackers to cover tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. And Eagles have had issues with that all season long because they have not had a great linebacker play to cover deep plays out of the backfield. And one of the reasons why we've had the middle of the field open because you need linebackers that can cover in zone, and you need linebackers that can also stay in coverage and cover players coming out the backfield. That's been a weakness for this Eagles all season long. And they got exploited in week 1 against New England Patriots. It was exploited then. And that's been the weakness ever since. So, it wouldn't surprise me none in this Giants game that would happen because the Giants got a good tight end. I forgot that boy. The name is Wells or Walls. His name. He's a former. He's a former. The Raiders tight end who got traded in the off season. That boy Daniel. I forgot his name. And I know his last name is Wells or Walls, something like that. But he is an excellent tight end. The guy's a 3-time Pro Bowl tight end for the Raiders. He was traded in the offseason. So I expect the Giants to use him more in this game against us. But as far as bringing another coach, the Eagles need another coach. I mean, it's self-evident, defensive coach. It's self-evident. But if they let go of Sean Desai as expected by the rumors, and if they decide to move on from Matt Patricia, also expect by rumors, the Eagles can have a new defensive team to come in. And I think Ron Rivera would be excellent coach at the defensive coordinator position because he runs Jim Johnson's scheme. Bringing back Jim Johnson's scheme would be a revelation to the Philadelphia Eagles fan base because we all love Jim Johnson. We love that man with a passion. He was the best defensive coordinator the Eagles have had since Buddy Ryan. Or better yet, since Bud Carson. So, Bud Carson ran a defensive scheme, nothing similar to Buddy Ryan, but his defensive scheme was great. He ran the best defense, you know what I'm saying? So bringing him in will be an excellent hire for the Philadelphia Eagles as head coach, for me, a defensive coordinator. But the thing is, though, Ron Rivera is a strong-minded coach. Can the Eagles handle his strong mind? Because this guy is going to want to run the scheme his way. He ain't going to want no one interfering in his defensive scheme. Win, lose, or draw. He ain't going to want interfering. Can the Eagles front office handle that? That's going to be the question mark if they decide to bring in a strong-minded head coach like Ron Rivera. I hope they don't decide to bring in no young up-and-coming coach because the Eagles have had enough of bringing in young coaches, young hires, and you see what happened there. Even though Matt Patricia is not a young coach, but you know what I'm getting at. So, Ron Rivera would be an excellent hire at defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He almost came. The Eagles have almost hired. They almost had brought him in 4 years ago when they decided to fire. What's his name? Peterson. Then well, actually Peterson. Let's see. 23, 22, 21. They fired Doug Peterson in 2020. 2020 season. Yeah. 2021, 21, 22, 23, 24. No, 2020. The Eagles have almost hired Ron Rivera because Ron Rivera was fired from the Carolina Panthers as their head coach. He's an all-time winning head coach for the Carolina Panthers. So he has an excellent head coaching resume. But I don't think his resume is very excellent here, very excellent in Washington. I think he had more losses than wins. But I can't speculate that. I have to find out more about that before I speak on it. But I do know he had more losses than wins as the Commanders head coach, but he has more wins and losses as the Carolina Panthers head coach. So he has had back-to-back coaching terms for two different teams. But I don't think he's going to become a head coach no time soon because of his age and because of his pedigree. But I think he will be an excellent defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles because the guy can call plays. I mean, even though he's been with the Washington Commanders for only for a 4-year stint, he has had excellent defenses called against the Philadelphia Eagles. He has always have during 4 years with the Washington Commanders. He has given the Eagles fits on defense. So that should give you some idea right there as to why to bring in Ron Rivera as defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then there's a possibility he could become the Eagles head coach if Sirianni don't work out well. So bringing in a guy that's a head coach, former head coach, would be an excellent move in the Eagles. It'd be an excellent move for the Philadelphia Eagles if they bring in Ron Rivera as defensive coordinator and possible head coach if Rivera don't work out well enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's all in a nutshell there. But what do you guys think if the Eagles were to bring in Ron Rivera as defensive coordinator if he gets fired by the Washington Commanders, according to rumors this today? And let me know what you think. Also think about Sean Desai being fired and Matt Patricia actually also being fired as well, because 3 coaches are going to be fired after today's game, but only one could become a defensive coordinator. So let them know what you think about that as well. So, again, enjoy your Sunday. I'm going to enjoy mine as well. And I am out of here. Peace, and I'm out.